Hi, and welcome to video 3 out of my series in response to the survey that I sent out. And thank you for submitting your answers. The third thing that people mentioned is that they have difficulty to relax and to find inner peace. And I actually love this topic because I'm all about peace building. This is, for me, a very, very dear and close to my heart topic. I feel like, we all could get into the game of really creating a peaceful world. That would be a good thing. And I think I got a few things I can show you, some pointers that can help you to live a more peaceful life and to have inner peace more readily available to you. Now, I'd like to mention very clearly that this should not be considered as treatment for any physical or mental condition you are dealing with. All I can do is give you some pointers and some practical advice how you can be more relaxed and be at peace in your life, okay? So why do I know so much about this topic? Because I have struggled with inner conflict, especially in my early years. Just simply had a feeling that something is missing in my life, that something is wrong, that there's an essential piece nobody was showing me. And I brought it up. I brought it up to my parents, and it used to always be like at unrest in some way. Um, Later, I felt this unrest more like a hunger for understanding, a hunger not just for an intellectual explanation that I would get from my environment, people talking to me about whatever their ideas were. But I knew there's a different sense, something that's, something that's like, more solid, something that I can rely on, rather than just having, brief moments of peace that are, far and few in between. And when I discovered conscious breathing, something really changed. Those moments that would just simply come to me at times, I could more and more deliberately uh, open myself to it. And so open myself to it points to, like one of the most profound realizations I believe anybody can have in their lives, which is that life is not, that peace is not an accomplishment. Peace is not something that we learn or something that, we have a certain image about. And when that's going to be accomplished, then we will be at peace. Peace is actually at the core of our life. It's at the core of every one of us. And peace is the core of all life, of the universe. It's the creativity that brought us life comes from essentially a rested, peaceful presence that flows through everything that's alive, including every one of us. And I believe that this understanding actually about the core functionality of our aliveness has just gigantic implications, and is something that's rarely really talked about in our political or even often in our spiritual realms, that there's actually something there for us that we just simply open ourselves to. And so, for example, uh, that striving, seeking, anything that has sort of like this urge as part of it, that essentially carries attention with it and won't get you there. And that there is something that's actually on the other side of that, which is basically to relax and rest and sink into the background of all life, open up your awareness, and simply make space for peace to come in. And then it simply comes to us. It's like a change of direction. Um, if I notice that whenever we go toward wholeness, whenever we have a sense of wholeness in whatever way, everybody's there in a celebration, here around the holidays, if it's good, if everybody's there and we have a sense like we're all here, that gives us more of a peaceful and a happier moment. So whenever we feel wholeness or going toward wholeness, we get a sense of happiness, even if we're not completely there, even if there's things that are still open, that's fine with us. We get more peaceful sense for as long as we'll go toward it. And the opposite of course, is also true. This is when we are in a cut-off state, when we feel rejected, when we feel more like, separated by ourselves and onto ourselves. That's when our level of stress, tension, anxiety, and maybe even depression is going up. And that's like, at the basis of all life. This is what happens, and it seems to be working for everybody the same way. That's my experience. Now, you share your experience with me. I'll be very curious what you have to say about that. And so we could say that there are sort of like two basic motions to any cut-off state in our lives that have to do with uh, feeling tense, feeling not in touch. And for as long as we oscillate between those two, it's very, very hard to create that space and open ourselves. And basically the motions are, I reject what is, I want something different, this is not good enough, blah, 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 that thing. Or we're busy with looking for what we desire. I need this and this in my life, then I'll be happy. So we either reject or we desire, and the two are just oscillating. And there's really, in a way, nothing we can do about that. These are motions of life that are driving through us, and there's nothing wrong to be clear about what you don't want and to be clear what you do want. But when that occupies our mind and our being, our body, our whole sense of self, then all we have is these two, and we oscillate between them, and there's never a moment of peace. In the moment that oscillation resides, or we simply see it for what it is, we can have a distance from it, then peace just comes. And so, interesting thing is pushing, so to speak, right? And isn't that what we also do with breath? We pull in the breath and we push it out in a way. This is the motion, same motion. Well, I found out that the basis of all life is basically that dual motion of in and out, of up and down, left and right, whatever you want to call this basic duality of life. It's just running everywhere throughout all life on all levels. And when we find a way to balance it and to not try to resolve it in one or the other direction, but to simply be in the middle of it and to be in the presence of that, then when that balance, when that is the balance becomes relaxed and we become the observer of those emotions, then there's another thing that simply comes in. It's a presence. And so to me, peace is a presence. Oneness is a presence that just touches us because it's there already in us. It always wants to be there for us. But we get too busy and too filled up and too many layers of tension in order for us to be present to that and to allow it to shine through us. And so basically you could say, if you keep a rhythm up for long enough like that, then you will have that balance, and that balance will be there for you, and peace can shine through. So that's why, and it's part of the reason why you see me often do, when we do breathing patterns, a rhythmized pattern in which the inhale and the exhale have the same length. So it becomes a circle, more of a smooth circle. And that's not just related to, the chemistry of our breath or any kind of healing action that's connected to that, which is very, very powerful. And I'll go into at other times. But it's simply the sensation of the rhythm, of the rhythmized in and out, that seems to do that job for our inner world. It creates a wave, and that wave in our system relaxes us and resets us Anything that's too far up will come down. Anything that's too low down will come up. Anything that's a little bit to one side will come to the middle. Anything that's in an imbalance where you've too much pulled out of you and always in life, always on the outside, when you breathe like that, you will come more and more to the inside. Anything where you feel like too much on the inside, too much drawn toward the inner sensations and incapable of really participating in the outer life. Here it is. When you balance your breath, you balance those two domains, whatever the two are. And as they balance, new options show up, new thoughts show up. And you just simply rely on nature working through you. And you can hear the better thoughts just simply coming in if you rely on that balance. Seems to be working for me like for over 30 years. Now I've accomplished, I've accompanied a lot of people through that process. And I've honed it over all these 30 years because, breath never stops to deliver, never is at its end. It always has new revelations for us. So let's breathe together. We'll do 3 little sections, and in between we relax. First section we do through mouth. Second section nose in, mouth out. Third section all through the mouth. Okay, so here we go. And a long one. And before it completely resides, we're getting into the second one. And a long one. And the third one, all through the nose, a little slower. And a deep one. Thanks for spending this time with me. And did you notice? It was just 10 each, 10 breaths each, and a sigh at the end, a longer at the end. That's how simple it is. Sometimes just simply counting your breath, decide you just do 10 and then a deep sigh. So you know you have a limited number and you just go at that. That can be very helpful. More tips coming soon, and I hope you enjoyed it. Please make sure you give me some comments below. Thanks a lot.